think you guys, I literally just deleted my template. Oh no. Why do I always do this? Oh, here it is, here it is, here it is. Okay, let's see where they open us. Hopefully it's above this area here. That would be best case scenario. Oh wow, they actually did, guys. 66.32 open. That's above the zone. That's a really good spot to open us, guys, here. I was really hoping that they would maybe try doing that, because that was the minimum area that I put that we had to get back to this week, like at a minimum. So that's a really good open. I was thinking minimum 56588 to reduce risk. Ideally, if it's closer to 66.22, 32, even better. But that's pretty funny because the objective I just put for the week is that the primary goal is that we have to hold and reclaim 66.40 to 66.48. So that's pretty insane that they opened at 66.32 and immediately took out 4.8. I didn't think that they could open at the 66.70s, but they could definitely take it out. So this is a really, really good open in terms of trying to give us that reclaim that we discussed. So like basically us trying to negate and break all the way back here. Can you guys see the center screen here? Like this here, if they actually open us at 66.41. So that mock scenario for the bullish mock is playing out really nicely. 66.22 to 66.40 area. That's a great mock, right? It could take us back to the 67.70s. So where's the trading view? Kind of like right back in here. We'll see how much range they can give us in the overnight session. I do have to go, but obviously the big goal right here is going to be if they can get us back over 66.88 is going to be the first goal. Then we'd be looking for the 66, or sorry, not 66, 67.06 is kind of a mid-range, but we want to see ideally 66.72 to 67.32 area, okay? If they can get us back to these core ranges here, then we're already at an odd of basically essentially just resetting the same conditions from last week. And if you think about it, this is where they opened is already half the range of risk. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So like this is half the range right here. Just to like quickly summarize that. So, and then I think 61% is probably close to here. So that this is already, they've already reduced the range by half. Off the actual weekly highs, which is closer to here, that's where they're stalling. Do you see that? So it's right around that 6676, which is exactly that mock area that we talked about that would heavily reduce risk. So, and I did put that on here. Let me just, that's the same area that could help us avoid volatility. So I know you guys haven't had a chance to read the report yet, obviously, but the goal is going to be to try getting back here as soon as possible. Okay, so if they're able to get us back, the absolute best case scenario would be to open above 5.8, right? And 66.20s, that would give us the highest odds, is to get to those 66.70s as early as possible this week. They're already doing it, okay? And the areas were 6772, 6774, 6776 to 6778, okay? Or not 7, sorry, 6. I'm getting dyslexic now because of the wide ranges that we're working with. 66, 70s, 60. Did you guys read the report yet or not yet? I tried my best to put it out before the open. I was like 2 minutes off, so. Okay, that was so this is one of the goals, and that's why. So it's not only the, just to recap, it's 50% of the overall risk range that we're working with. Okay, I'm just recapping this for you guys. It's also, just so you guys are prepared here, it's also half that range from like that 306 to to 346, so it's like usually 300 points in range here. 301 is half of 256 and 346, so that kind of aligns with these 70s right here. Okay. And that's what would give us the best odds of getting basically back into this zone here. It's like the 6700s. Okay, 1602, whatever. From a 256 point metric, it's like this. I know this is around the 300, but from a 256 point metric, do you guys see how this is right around here? Off these candles here. Do you see that? This is just so that you guys are aware of what they're doing here. So that is really good, because them opening above here, okay, like 18, 30, 20, above this high here, like look at where they open. That's actually insane, guys. 258 points. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. Do you see how that could put you back at an odd of getting to yet another zone? Because they opened at the top of this zone. Like opening at the top of this 6588, 6632 zone, like, and potentially avoiding it entirely could heavily reduce risk. And that could increase odds of getting to yet another zone, which would be 6688. And that's our all-time, that's like our next all-time high zone that could get us the 128 point move, which would be the break to 7K. Does that make sense? 128, 132 points, like off this break right here. So that's a really big reduction in risk where they open this right here. We can just also assume if they opened at above a 256 point range right here off these structural highs and closing points, it could imply that they could try getting to that 346 point range, which is going to be our 6720. So 6720, 6722 is going to be a huge overhead for the overnight session and heading into tomorrow. The goal is to try to reduce as much risk as possible today and tomorrow ahead of the 16th, with today and tomorrow being a little bit more ideal to reduce that range, because that could give us odds of retesting as early as when? When do we have odds to retest? As early as when? To get back into this zone here. What do you guys think? When would be the earliest odd that they could take us back to this zone here, if they're able to retract enough range in time? And let's say take out 67, 22, 24, 44, 48. When would we have odds? Yeah, as early as the 15th or 16th. Ahead of 16th would be even better, but technically speaking, it'd be by the 16th. So that could really eliminate that risk, and that's what would keep us extended through that 22nd, 24th period that we've been talking about for a few weeks now. I think that would really catch people off guard if they did something like that, right? What do you guys think? Like if they completely avoided this downside and then just like did something like this and just retracted range back up and then maybe like tested 6820s here or something like that. Like I feel like that would really throw people off. Kind of like saving one zone to take it to the next zone. Do you get what I'm saying? Like to complete this zone here, like 6722, 6732, or sorry, 6832, 66832, like this area here that we've been talking about. That's basically that 600 points in range. So we'll obviously be very mindful with how things trade this week, because obviously anything can happen. But with this kind of an open, I would say that maybe we want to avoid heading back to this previous zone. If they did take us back to this zone here, let's see if they can try holding off 6588 to 6606 this time. Maybe even core areas. So these could just be some overnight ranges. Currently we're working with overheads at the 66, 76, 78. Obviously 6688 with our bigger goal in mind being that 6720 and 6744 area. That these were the big spots from last week. We obviously failed 4-4. We stalled 4-4 here. We'd have to get some breaks of 4-8. It'd basically be like if they can get us into a channel here, this would really start to avoid some of the risk. Because what they're doing right now is they're avoiding heading back to this previous channel, which would be a breakdown beneath 6. Even if they take it back to this channel here, it's not the end of the world. Like back to like 66, 33, 66, 44, 48. But basically, if they can avoid this channel here, they have odds of bringing it to this channel up here. Does that make sense, guys? If this channel can be avoided here tonight, they have odds of taking it back to the 6730s and 40s channel. Otherwise, they might digest this range in here, and then that's what could put us at risk of heading back to the zone. So we'll see if zone areas are protected overnight tonight. I think our ranges are really accurate, though. So kind of like this with the color coding, I think it's easier to understand. If they fail this channel here, like you see how they're trying to protect 6642, that annual range, that 6640 to 6642, that's an annual range, okay? If they fail to protect that, that's what could take you back to your second annual range, which is the 6622 to 24 area, okay? If they hold this range in here, this is what could get you a break of here into the next zone. And that's what could essentially push you to 66, 22, 24, and potentially get back to this channel. I don't think we have to get back to the channel tonight. I think the goal for tonight, guys, is going to just be to try preserving above the zone area. Like to try our best to avoid breaking back down this zone. So we want to maybe hold 65.88 tonight, ideally above 66.22. Okay, if they can hold the channel above 40.42, that's going to be the best case scenario, but that would only be the case if they can actually break this 66.75, 76.78 overhead. That's also 50% of the range from the highs. Okay, I'm going to close this down. If you guys have questions, just ask in the Discord. I'll be streaming every day this week, I think, just to kind of help everyone out, but for now, that's a really good open. That's them trying to basically take it from one zone, because they're avoiding this whole zone entirely, and potentially push to this zone here. So that would put the 66.88 to 67.32 zone back in play. Oops. Okay, I'll catch you guys in a little bit.